Good morning, guys. Welcome to this Wednesday, October 22nd. And we got an interesting overnight, especially on gold. That one is absolutely tanking. So gold up to 4,400 and way down, almost down to 4,000 now. So that is in 2 days. So 10% in 2 days. That's pretty brutal. The ES, though, the ES is actually holding on pretty good. So far yesterday's holding day held up. We had this little move out of the middle to the upside. We had a small extension, but I'm going to check that I think up as a pretty much a, a range bound trading day. And so far the overnight is kind of holding where it's at. So we are up here in this upper area again. Um, let's see if they can hold it. We got earnings come out. We had the Netflix earnings come out yesterday. I haven't seen any reaction in the stock market, so I guess that came out okay. Overall, a lot of earnings has come out, and there have been a pretty good earnings season so far. Today we have the Tesla report come out, and that's going to also be pretty interesting as a AI kind of uh, a barometer, if you wish. So there's a few companies there. Tesla is considered going from a car company to an AI company more than anything else. So that's it's going to be an interesting earnings report, and the market is it's a lot of speculation around it. So it can be an interesting reaction. Overall, though, there's not much news around the market. The government is shut down, and everything is kind of stuck because we are going to get the CPI release on Friday. So that's going to be a number come out. I don't know how good it's going to get though, and how much people are going to believe what they get there. But there is a CPI report scheduled for Friday. But other than that, we have no news to drive the market. We are operating on what the earnings reports are coming out throughout the earnings season, and also the headlines coming out of that Chinese US back and forth, which is so far calmed down a bit. I haven't heard anything for a few days. I guess they are backing off a little bit going into their meetings end of October here. So that's kind of what the bigger picture is. Setting up the trading day, and so far I would just start off range bound. I would stay on the long side of the market and see if they can extend to the upside. So primarily range bound at this point, given that the yesterday's trading turned into be a range bound day, you could not quite make a good move to the upside. I mean, you can argue if this little move up here is an extension. Technically, it is. But if you look at how the rest of it, when they came out there, you got promptly knocked down. So it's pretty much just probing the edges. Usually when you see an extension, you want to see like a little bit more range being covered on the upside if they're extending the range. So this felt very much like they were probing and failed and then just stayed in that lower range. And that's kind of where they stayed. So I would look to buy weakness. Same exact numbers as yesterday, 67.60s, 67.50s for rotations up. Below 50s, I'll take off the long buyers, go back range bound. I think at that point we're heading back down into this lower range. 50s takes us this general area. Remember, 30 to 50s when they on the way up they had to take out. And once they did that, now those two are going to be support. So the 50s, the 30s here is going to be all both support areas. I would take off the long bias though below the 50s, and the last one I would look to buy against is the 30s. Below that one, I would look for more of a pullback. And it's been kind of there's been a few cross currents going on. So I mean, I just watching the cryptos this morning. They did a bit. What did I? A little bit to the downside, not bad. Uh, a lot of the high-flying AI stocks, the quantum stocks that had it like nothing but a spectacular run, pulling back pretty good as well. The energy stocks. So they say some of those high flyers, which were extending pretty good, are pulling back a little bit. And that's not surprising. So you have a pre-earnings company, which is not quite making money yet, being valued like crazy. That's kind of lofty, you know. So not surprising that those guys are correcting a little bit, or correcting it percentage-wise quite a bit, but it's just part of volatility when you have a stock like that or stocks like that. Overall, though, the ES is to the upside, and we'll trade it as such and see how far they can take it. On the way up, looking for shorts against the 67.85s, 67, 6800s, 68.15s for rotations back down again. And I would say the first two here, the 68, 6785s, 6800s, those two are definitely they're going to be looking for short setups against those two. To take out the 6800s, I would probably be more inclined to start leaning towards the long side. Last one would be 6815, and then we're in price discovery again. So that's kind of the setup going into today's trading. Looking for short opportunities against 6785, 6800s. Looking for buying opportunities against 6760s, 6750s for rotations up, 45 to 50s. And if they do take out back off below that 45 to 50s, take off the long bias, go back range bound, looking for rotation back down into the slower range. And as I said yesterday, if they don't extend, they start taking this higher, they start backing down in this range, this whole thing's most likely is going to be folded together into one big distribution. They've been holding there, they traded up, they traded down, they back up again. If you start adding that stuff together, you'll start getting one big distribution. So that's kind of where it may be heading. We'll find out. All right, so that's how we get started on the ES this morning. Looking at our Nasdaq and the bonds. The bond market is still trading higher. They're up here. It looks to me like we have a potential for a move out of the middle to the upside. It is a slow grind. It started up here. We had one move here starting back on October 9th. Another move here starting maybe yesterday or day before. And they are slowly, you can see it's a slow grind to the upside. Not very convincing, but it could be a probe. It could be a start of something, but they're grinding higher slowly. And I would say there's just a probably slow rotation into safety. I think a lot of people are rotating some of their winnings or some of their profits into other stocks, but the AI trade is very much alive, and the earnings season is good. So I don't think people want to be too far away from getting back into it if they things starts moving higher again. So looking to buy weakness on the bonds, 119.10 to 12. 119.04 down to that 118.30s for rotations up. I would say below that 118.30 to 119s, that support area, if you take that out, I would take off the long bias and go back range bound. So starting off on the long side, looking to buy weakness against 19.10 to 12, 19.04, 18.30 to 119s, and that's about it. That's how we get started. Let's see how this goes. Could be a short trade setting up at 16 to 18 here. It could be one setting up a little bit higher. We'll see. Yesterday I tried a trade on the bonds. I had a potential retest failure setup, but it never filled me, and the setup started going away, so I canceled it, and that was probably a good call yesterday. But today we'll see if it sets up again. The range hasn't been too bad, so retest on the bonds has been pretty good. Hasn't been too bad. Nasdaq though is very much in the same spot as the ES, and the question is which one is going to lead it, which. A lot of the small cap trading on the Nasdaq, as I said, it's specific industries are getting hammered, and those are those high-flying quantum stocks and the modular energy stocks, which are they were way up there. They're getting knocked down pretty good right now. So starting off a range-bound bias to the upside. Watch that level down here, that 25,000. If they start trading below that, that's when I start getting worried about the short side. But initially looking to buy against that 25 200s, 25 160s, below the 160s, probably taking off the long bias, maybe below 120. Give it a little bit of room there because they tend to be volatile on the Nasdaq. So anytime you just give it one extra level before you shift your bias. So looking to buy against 25 200s to 210s, the 160s, the 115 to 120s for rotations back up. Looking to get short against 25 300s, the 25 350s, and the 25 400s. So Nasdaq did not extend, even probe above the day before the high on the Monday here. So that Monday's high has not been extended on Nasdaq. They kind of pulled back, held below it. So a little bit weaker on that side. So we'll see if they can make a go out of it. If not, they start trading back down. So Nasdaq is a little bit different because the ES is back at an attractor. Nasdaq is up here at the highs. So Nasdaq backing down into this lower distribution is not by any means an unheard of thing. I would be watching carefully that 25,000 level. So the next level down here, that comes out, they start trading below that. Yeah, that's that's when we start thinking short side of the market in a bigger way. And you know how it is, an elevator down day, they can take it this range and then some without a lot of hesitation. So a risk off day, yeah, I mean, it turns into one of those days where they retrace like 2 weeks worth of progress. You know what I mean? And just to be aware, those days are coming. They always come. So Nasdaq and ES both starting off range bound, looking to buy weakness or a favor in the long side, but not going to be shy about taking short setups as well, since we are up against upper areas of resistance. All right, so that's the ES. Looking at gold and oil, and these are interesting now. Those are starting to move. Touching oil first, just real quick on oil. So they start trading up above this 57.60 level. And so yesterday they tried a probe, then they got knocked down hard. Right now, though, in the overnight, had a big move, crazy move to the upside, and then just kind of stalled here. They're up against that 58.60s. Not quite sure what to make out of this stuff going on right now. They are backing off like this, but the trajectory definitely after the Middle East peace deal has been down. So risk premium on oil going down, and that was reflected pretty good. Question is if this is just a technical pullback or if there's something behind it. Not sure. We'll see. We'll see. Just keep your eyes on the financial news and see what kind of headlines comes out. But I would start off with a slight bias to the upside right now and see if they have what they want to retrace this. Looking at that capital flow on oil. Let's see this guy. You can see we were down here all the way down to 55.80. Now we're retracing pretty good here, and then we're back up in this prior attractor area. Not until they take out that 59 or probably the 60s. I start worrying about the long side, something going on with that. So if oil starts trading above that 60 level, they can rotate right back up to 63, and that would be kind of an interesting reaction. It had to be something behind that move. But backing off right now from the lows a little bit, probing to the upside, writing that off more of it as a technical pullback, and watching if they're going to be able to trade up above this prior distribution. So that's kind of oil for you right now. So starting off with a slight bias to the upside, looking to buy against the 58s, 57.60s, down to the 57.30s. Below the 30s, we are right back down into this lower range, headed lower again. So pretty quick on shifting that bias if to start backing off. But initially looking for those buying opportunities. Not going to be super aggressive on the short side just yet. I think this upper area, the 58.60s and the 59s here, could be nice short opportunities. But as I said, since I'm not sure exactly why it's trading higher, if it's technical or if there's something behind it, I'm just going to be a little bit less aggressive on that side. I haven't traded oil for a while. It's starting to move, yeah, pretty good yesterday. So that could be it could be maybe start a little bit of action on oil. But starting off with that slight bias to the upside to get with oil. Now gold, that's that's something yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say about gold. That's crazy town. So we have been down here to the 4,020s. We're trading at 4,400 almost 2 days ago. We're like the NOC print. If I go back up here, I can't barely do it. It keeps snapping back. You can see this is the F1. See, just these snapping back. So we're trading at 4,400. We're down to 4,000 now. So it's $400 retracement in 2 days. That is crazy. So I would just stay on the short side on gold. Actually, I would not be trading it. So I mean, it's too volatile, and unless you get the really good opportunity, I would not take it. It's just too volatile when you have a bar pretty much snapping like 10 points in the matter of like 10 seconds. You just want to be on the you want to be on the right side of it, but it's just hard to stick with a trade like that. So I would not be trading it. I would just, even if you try to get short at the tab here, so you have levels you can lean against. With these bars, like you look at this bar trading up, 46 up to 59, that's like 12, 13 points. This little bar right there is like more than 10 points. So this range is crazy. You put in a 50 tick stop, which is 5 points, right? You're looking at the stop, which is barely showing on this thing. It's like a little baby stop. So I would not be trading it. I would wait for this to calm down a bit. It is crazy town on gold right now. So a bloodbath for those guys who bought in earlier on, or bought in late in this rally. Fear of missing out, guys. Just finding themselves getting crushed. So I would not be trading gold today, and unless I see a really good opportunity and I, for some reason, get the inspiration to take the trade. But we're very well aware that it could be a quick in and then shake out, and that's about it. And if you manage to get in on a little bit of a momentum play where you can stick with the trade and get a little bit of range between you and your stop, then yeah, you'll be happy. Anyway, but I would not be trading it. It's just the volatility and the craziness there is off the chart. So, but oil could be tradable. We'll see how that shapes up here. So trade, but if you're gonna trade gold, trade it from the short side, gold from the and oil from the long side to get started. And back to the ES. We are pretty much kind of where we left it, the middle of the range. So both ES and Nasdaq, I think, are the ones to try to trade today. Maybe the bonds if we see a nice setup on that one, but oil and gold seems to be a little bit finicky. So starting off long side on or favor the long side, primarily range band, but favor the long side on ES and Nasdaq. Let's see if they can extend to the upside or if this move was just a one-off here. And of course, earnings. Tesla earnings coming out after the close. That's going to be an interesting one. See how that impacts Nasdaq. Anyway, we'll leave it there, guys, and I'll see you back at 11:30. So good trading, and I'll see you back at 11:30 for the next update. Later.